use and abuse of anchors. There are many real-life situations where anchors can play an important role. Take, for example, you negotiating about your salary. What does the anchoring effect tell us about your optimal negotiation strategy, or what does it tell us about how you should start in such a negotiation? So anchoring tells us that the first number posted matters, even if it's irrelevant. So when participating in your salary negotiation, what you should do is you should take the lead and start with a high number. There are some people who say that taking a high number is even more effective if this number is still kind of realistic. This means here you can see how you can exploit your knowledge of the anchoring effect to reach a better result. But you can also use your knowledge about anchoring to protect yourself. So think of the same situation. What you can do is what you should do is you should think about your true valuation before entering the negotiation to be less susceptible to being influenced by an anchor set by your counterpart. So the idea is before entering the negotiation, you should have a good estimate of your valuation, of your goal, what salary you want to reach. And then you will, your anchoring, you will not be susceptible if your opponent starts with a very low number. Okay, so if you know about anchoring effect, you can take countermeasures, but be aware that there is anchoring. Next, I want to show you some other applications which will show you that anchoring can be applied for really many situations. So for example, if you're designing a menu for a restaurant, so for example, the order of drinks or dishes offered, what many people claim is that anchoring implies that you should start your menu with the highest priced items. By starting with high price items, your customers will, let's say, get used to high prices and will be willing to pay a higher price. On the other hand, if you would start with low prices, they are very much anchored towards the low price, which means they will not be willing to pay a lot. Okay. Similarly, recommended retail prices are often cited as an effect of anchoring or closely connected to anchoring. If you have a high recommended retail price, the high price makes people anchor on it and make them willing to pay a high price, probably, especially if they later see it discounted. There's also a very nice example, a famous Campbell's soup promotion. What they did, they sold their soup cans on promotion. They had a discount, and they had two different settings. In one setting, each customer could just buy as many cans as he or she wanted. And what they observed is that in this setting, the average number of cans bought per person was 3.5. In the other setting, they limited the number of cans that you could buy as a single person to 12. And typically, you would assume that limiting the maximum number you're allowed to buy would decrease the number of cans bought per person. However, what they observed was when implementing the limit of 12, the number of cans bought per person doubled. So now people bought 7 cans on average. As you can see, anchoring has very many applications, and it makes sense to think about anchoring in many situations.